fires.
Yeah, fucking shit.
Yeah.
I love that we planned out to do these 3 movies that are basically super critical of Hollywood, and then Hollywood catches on fire.
Well, it's not even fire season yet.
Well, no, that's the really fucked up thing is like, no, we're nowhere near fire season.
Yeah.
I do remember 15 years ago, Southern California would catch fire every year, and it became sort of this joke that it's like Southern California's, traditional.
Yeah, the hills catch on fire.
Yeah, the yearly fires in Southern California. And then it became most of California, and now it's the entire West Coast, including Canada.
Yeah, though the ones that happened in Northern California were all like directly caused by people. It was a gender reveal party.
Oh no, I know that. I know that. I know the.
And then PG&E, like fuck things up.
Yeah, but I mean that's the thing, though. Those sorts of things, if they happen, they shouldn't cause an entire coast to burn.
Sure. I just feel like they shouldn't be called wildfires. They should be called something else. Wildfires, because wildfires do happen, like where it's natural.
We can call them dumb shit fires.
Yeah. People sucking fires.
And what's really freaking me out is, as you just pointed out, this is not fire season at all.
There's lots of theories, but we don't actually know yet what caused all this.
I mean, lots of dry vegetation and really fucking heavy winds.
Oh, sure. But what initially caused the fires?
Yeah, I don't know.
There is some speculation that it is their power company also, because one of the fires started by a tower, but they don't know if the tower caused it. A lot of people think it's arson, but yeah, we don't know yet. Until like they get it under control, I think it's going to be hard to investigate.
Yeah, what's a lot worse is the amount of disinformation that's already going out.
We didn't run out of water.
No, we didn't.
It's even stupider.
You don't fill fire hydrants. They come from the same fucking water source as literally everything else.
No, but you know what's stupid? You know what really happened? Why the water pressure?
All the fire hydrants needed to be used at once, and it became too much, and all the pressure dropped.
That's not what I read.
Well, I mean, that's what the fire chief told Elon Musk on like a live video. Oh, he was pissed.
I'm like, I don't care.
The fire chief was like, well, no, but I'm saying this came from the chief of the fire department.
Sure, but they also have said that because of where the water facilities are run by electricity, but because of all the fires, their electricity was shut off. Hence, the fire hydrants don't work. And it's like, well, that's a problem because if there's fires in an area and you're going to turn off the electricity, there needs to be another way for the fire hydrants to work.
Yeah. Well, what I really...
So it's probably multiple things. But either way, we didn't run out of water.
No. There's plenty of water. Yeah. And there's still plenty of water.
It's been raining more this year than like it has in like a long time.
Yeah, which unfortunately seems to have been part of the problem. Yeah. But no, what's really pissing me off is like the other day, I was doing something on TikTok. I think I was updating like our account information or something. Mm-hmm. And this video came up. It was supposedly how the fires started. Mm. And of course, it's an AI video. To an idiot, it would look pretty fucking real. Yeah. But it's basically this giant column of lightning and crashing all over the place. No, it's supposed to be like a Wrath of God thing.
Oh,
whatever. Like it's there are so many fucking comments on it being like, God is mad, he's coming back, blah 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 blah. And I'm watching this fucking thing and I'm like, lightning. First off, everyone who's watched this, you've all heard lightning before. It doesn't sound like it sounds like in the movies, which is what this sounds like. Mm. Second, if you look down at the buildings, they're all doing that morphine thing. They mostly look fine if you don't look closely at them, but once you start looking at them, you can see the AI doing the replication thing.
Well, I don't think there's been any lightning storms over there.
No, that's the thing. But you know,
I'm like, it's not storming right now. It's just windy.
Sure, but you know, some Jesus freaking Georgia is not going to know that.
Yeah.
So they're watching this shit and being all like, "Oh, it's the end times." And I'm like, you fucking morons! It's just AI, and this is the second major problem that I have with AI: is it is going to just eliminate reality.
Yeah.
Even if you and I are always able to tell the difference, because we're not fucking idiots and we know how to look at things, it's going to be really hard for like, I don't know, 80% of the population, because you have to A, know what to look for, and B, bother to look for it, and C, use enough critical thinking to know that maybe whatever you're looking at isn't real. Maybe Obama didn't rob a bank. Maybe there isn't just like...
Is that a thing?
A giant thunderstorm. Not a conspiracy theory thing, but I did see a video, and I think I posted about this because it was the one where I was like, we're not going to be able to tell reality anymore.
We already can't.
But it was a series of...
For most people.
it was a series of presidents basically committing crimes. So it was like Obama holding up a liquor store, Trump mugging somebody.
I will say all presidents have committed crimes, but not that kind.
No. They should all...
And commit war crimes and war crimes against humanity.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen also people that aren't normally into conspiracy theories starting to believe the one where it's like the government is causing it because they want everyone to move out of California because like California is so like valuable. And I'm like, but yeah, if everyone leaves, is it?
The people are what give it the value.
I know. This is a thing that, you know, somebody that I will not mention had brought up a long time ago. And now I've heard like somebody at my work who's not a conspiracy theory started talking about it. I heard other people and I'm like, oh God, this is now becoming a widespread.
Was it that bald twat with the world's biggest podcast?
No, it's the person we know.
Which one? Oh, okay.
I said he brought it up a long time ago, and then just recently I've been hearing other people hear it, and I've never heard, and these are people who aren't in conspiracy theories, and I'm like, oh no, this one's spreading.
That's funny, because when I think of him, I don't generally actually think of conspiracy theories. I just think of, you know, anti-Semitism.
He's so many crazy. Well, but part of it is he was like they were using Jew lasers, but it was lasers, and he had videos that were they were all fake. And he's like, look, there's videos of lasers from satellites causing the fires, and of course it's Jewish people are running the lasers.
I'd love to guess it was like clips from movies from the 90s or something.
No, it was real clips from fires, but they're like, it's clearly like edited in.
Yeah.
Like,
show the fucking does it show like the laser coming from the Death Star and then the fire in California?
No, it just shows a laser coming from the sky and like just being like hitting where, and then like a fire starting, and you're like, what the
Oh,
so dumb.
It's the amount of stupid shit that people will believe is so disheartening.
I just also feel like our generation should be the best at spotting that stuff because we grew up at the beginning of like CGI.
But we're not.
I know.
I'm so disappointed in Gen X as a whole. Wait, are you Gen X or are you millennial?
I'm like right on the like cusp, so
am I.
So everybody argues about it. I don't care. There's the term xenial, which I really hate, but it's fine.
You know, I am also on that right on that borderline, 1980.
Oh no, you're X.
But I'm like the last year of X, and I have, it doesn't matter. Yeah. Everybody's got different estimations on this. I used to, if anybody would ask for some reason, which is still baffles me that this is a question people ask.
I feel like as we've gotten older, people care about generations way more. Like it was talked about when we were younger, but it wasn't like that big a deal. And I don't feel like anybody ever asked you what generation you were. Like people didn't talk about it personally. It was in the news. But I just feel like now it's like...
It's a whole fucking thing.
It's weird.
But, you know, it used to be when somebody would ask, I would generally say Gen X. But I've started going by millennial just because Gen X has become the new bunch of boomers, man.
Oh, I don't feel like that.
Oh, God. No, so many... Not like as bad, but so many Gen X people have gone all fucking MAGA and shit.
Sure, but I feel like most people have forgotten about Gen X, that they've always been known as the forgotten generation. I mean, but still people call what people call boomers, like not what you're saying. But people will legitimately call Gen X people boomers. People are now calling millennials boomers, and I'm like, I don't think you know what that means. It doesn't mean old person.
You know, language is fluid. It doesn't mean what it used to mean. Now,
also, because generations... Now it
just means older asshole.
Well, generations also didn't... Now we have generations at set amount of times, which is weird, because that's not what generations used to be.
Yeah.
Generations used to be directly related to changes in society. So, like, there's one generation that's like, it's the longest generation, because there wasn't a change. I think it's like between World War I and II. I'm not sure which one it is. But now we're just like, oh, every 15 years. And I'm like, that's not how it was supposed to work. Like, millennials...
They grew up with with the internet and technology.
They grew up without it, and then at the they also had it still in their formative years. But what literally defines millennials is that our childhood we did not have the internet, but we did in our formative years. So we remember a time without the internet.
Yeah,
and anyone after us does not.
Sometimes I really miss it too.
Yeah.
We say on our internet podcast.
No, there's great things about the internet, but it's also, I think, one of the worst things to ever happen.
Yeah. I think overall, it has the potential to be one of the best things that we've ever created, but we have to make it that before we destroy it and ourselves.
I've actually read a bunch of studies about it, and my brother hates me talking about this because he just hates it.
Dead internet theory? Or?
No. That's hilarious, though. No, that our brains literally aren't evolved enough to handle the internet.
Yeah.
Like, we are not evolved enough to be able to constantly put our thoughts out to other people.
Yeah.
Like, usually you just didn't have that. So you'd have thoughts and you wouldn't say it. But now you could just say it, like, anywhere, anytime, and it can reach anyone. And, like, we don't know, like, fundamentally, our brains and us as a society do not know how to, like, deal with that.
Yeah.
Maybe individuals do, but as a whole, we don't.
No, as a whole, it's absolutely a shit show. And the fact of the matter is that at the rate which our technology is evolving, it is far outpacing our ability to evolve with it.
I think a huge thing they need to do in high school and in college, there needs to be internet literacy, like, taught on a fundamental level.
Just overall media literacy, because you can't fucking trust all the biggest media companies out there now. Fox News, fucking Newsmax has gotten huge.
Well, it's also just learning what a source is, because multiple articles isn't multiple sources.
No.
If they all start with so-and-so said this, and it was that's because of most articles will list one. It's like, that's one source. You can find 20 articles that list this one source.
Yep,
you have to find at least 3 sources at the bare minimum.
The alternative press says this, and suddenly you've got 15 quote sources that are all just the alternative press.
Yeah.
It is a nightmare. But I think overall media literacy should absolutely be taught. You know, I used to bitch that they wouldn't teach you how to balance a checkbook. Now we don't need to do that anymore. But now I'm going to bitch that they don't fucking teach you how to read the news.
I do, not a checkbook per se, but people do still need to know how to budget.
Oh no, knowing how to budget is not exactly the same thing as balancing a checkbook.
No, that's what I said.
Balancing a checkbook is part of it. But yeah, you know what else we could really use education on? How to file your taxes without getting yourself in a fucking mess. Just anything.
Everything's great.
Starry Eyes! Record. Oh no, wait. Welcome everyone to Streaming Screams. I am Glenn. I am here with Jessica.
Hello.
And hopefully we've gotten all the social political discussion out of our system.
We'll edit some of that down.
No, it all stays. No, we'll edit a lot of that down. Today we will be talking about Starry Eyes, released in 2014, written by Kevin Kolsch and Dennis Windmeyer, directed by Kevin Kolsch and Dennis Windmeyer.
Which I find it interesting that it has 2 directors, and I couldn't find any reason why.
Probably just because they wanted to make the movie together.
Yeah,
it's a fairly low budget movie.
Yeah, it was kickstarted.
Yeah. So it's probably just 2 guys wanted to do this movie, and
you know, I guess
it's not like common to have 2 directors.
It's not unheard of either.
It's not unheard of. You know, you've got the Wachowskis, you've got the Coen brothers.
The Coen brothers, don't they usually make their movies separately?
No. Ethan makes movies without Joel. Mm-hmm. Joel may have made movies without Ethan, but for The Big Lebowski and No Country for Old Men and like the really big ones that they've done. Mm-hmm. Oh God, what's that one? George Clooney. Well, there's 3 with George Clooney, the Idiot trilogy that they call it.
Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? Is that them?
Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? Burn After Reading, and there's another one. I don't remember what it is. But either way, they call it the Idiot trilogy because George Clooney plays an idiot in all of them. Oh. Which is pretty funny.
I think their movies are hit or miss.
I mean, I haven't seen any of theirs that I don't like.
I didn't like Burn After Reading very much. I only saw it once, but I didn't care for it.
I thought it was very funny, but not in a way that Burn After Reading is a weird one because I found it very funny and enjoyable when I did watch it. Mm-hmm. But not in a way that makes me want to rewatch it semi-regularly, like The Big Lebowski. I don't know how many times I've watched that movie. Burn After Reading is no Big Lebowski.
Yeah, I'm also like, I think The Big Lebowski is a fine movie. I don't understand why people are obsessed with it.
I don't know either, and I'm one of them. like
it's fine.
Legitimately, I think I watch that movie like twice a year minimum.
Really?
Yeah, it's so good. But like,
don't watch it. I've seen it a few times, but I'm like, I don't. It's fine. It's a good movie. It's not amazing.
It's also one of those. It's also one of those movies where like if I don't feel like putting on music, or if I'm doing shit around the house and I don't feel like putting on music or don't want to be like flipping my records over because I'm washing dishes or whatever. Big Lebowski, great. Throw it up on the television, half pay attention. I can still quote all the jokes along with it like an idiot. So
I don't really count that as watching it.
It's there.
I have stuff on all the time, and I'm like, I'm not watching it. It's just on.
Well, the difference being is that even if I'm not watching it, because I've seen it so many times, I know what's going on.
Yeah, it's still not watching it.
If I put on another movie that isn't Big Lebowski or Ghostbusters,
no, I get what you're saying.
Yeah. Anyway, well, we're off to a real fucking good start for my editing job here. Okay, Starry Eyes. Released in 2014, written by Kevin Kolsch and Dennis Windmeyer, directed by Kevin Kolsch and Dennis Windmeyer. We've got Alexandra Esso as Sarah Walker, an aspiring actress stuck in a dead-end job as a waitress. We don't really know if she's a good actress, but we know that she's struggling to get in the industry. She is frustrated and stressed and has a habit of pulling out her hair when she's upset. Then we have Sarah's quote-unquote friends, of which I would say most of them are not, but this is her social circle, and they are a pretty typical group of the worst kind of toxic theater kids.
Yeah.
We've got Amanda Fuller as Tracy, Sarah's roommate who cares about Sarah and wants her to be okay, but only insofar as caring for her is convenient. You know, she's busy, got her own stuff to worry about, and is getting sick of having to cover Sarah's butt, which apparently is something that's been going on even before this movie began. We've got Noah Segan as Danny, an independent director working on a new film that he wants Sarah to be in. He seems to be willing to have her in the starring role, but Aaron's scheming may be getting in the way of that. He also seems to have a romantic interest in Sarah as well as Aaron. We've got Fabienne Therese as Erin, another aspiring actress.
She's a bitch.
She is a bitch. She is cutthroat and vicious and wants all of the attention on her. And she has a nasty habit of trying to steal all of Sarah's roles. And she loves to cut Sarah down every chance she gets.
This is a person that has been, at least in high school or somewhere, and everyone has known someone like this, that is just a fucking bitch and like stuck up and for some reason just gets away with it.
And for reasons that don't seem to make any sense, has it out for usually a few people, but at least one person.
Yeah, and I'm like, this happens in real life. It just drives me insane. And I'm like, why is everyone just like not caring?
Yeah.
And sometimes I often feel like I'm the only one that's like calling her out. And people are just saying, oh, why are you being so mean? It's like, what? Like, it's so frustrating.
You know what's funny is the way in which we could tie this conversation back to our discussion of the fashion designer in the Neon Demon. Because for that one, I'm like, he's being an asshole to her, and you're like, because she's a.
Well, I like that one scene because I'm like, yeah, she's a fucking bitch all the time, and she deserves to be called out.
Yeah, but I mean, he's also an asshole.
Yeah, but I just liked him in that one scene.
Yeah.
Because I think, again, it's like bitches need to be called out.
Yeah, but he's not doing it for the right reasons. He's being just as big of a dick.
Sure, I guess I just really wanted that girl to get it.
Well, I mean, she dies at the end. Spoilers for Neon Demon. We've got Shane Kofi as Poe, a photographer and, I guess, poet. Exactly the type of guy who will corner a girl at a party and talk her ear off about shit she doesn't care about, which he does in this movie.
Another asshole that people, like, that everyone knows this type of guy, and people are like, oh, that's just him. Yeah. And it's like, no. Why are we allowing this?
He is also the type of guy to just bust out a camera when a girl is dangerously intoxicated and willing to take her clothes off.
Yeah, it literally happens.
He is a creep. He is a dirtbag. I've said it on this podcast a million times, and I'll say it a million more. Guys, be better than this.
Yeah.
We've got Natalie Castillo as Ashley. She's not really important to the plot. She's mostly just there to be another body during Sarah's rampage.
Yeah, it was weird. The end we'll get to. I was confused that it was the roommate.
Yeah.
I was like, because, like, yeah, she's just kind of there.
I think she shows up in a few other scenes, but
no,
I don't
she's
think
there
she
a lot. She's usually there, but she doesn't really
she's just
interact. She's just there.
She's just in the background having a drink.
Yeah, and she's just some blonde girl that doesn't. So that's why there was a couple times while watching this, I was like, wait, I thought that was the roommate.
Nope. We've got Pat Healy as Carl, Sarah's sleazy boss who runs a wannabe Hooters called Big Taters. Another asshole. Different type of asshole, though. We've got
I think he's kind of funny, though. Not like I would like him in real life, but in the movie, I think he's kind of...
No, he's good. He's good comic relief. He is basically like, you know, the restaurant manager from Office Space who gives the love interest a bunch of shit for not having enough flair. He is exactly like that, except that he spends a lot more time creeping on underage chicks.
Yeah.
We've got Maria Olsen as the casting director. She guides Sarah through the audition process and eventual initiation. And then we've got Luis Desrin as the producer. He's basically a cult leader and head of the production company that Sarah gets involved with.
He's like a Weinstein figure.
Yeah.
But like, if Weinstein
had a satanic cult.
No, I was gonna say, because they make it seem like they were really big and then they kind of faded out and now they're coming back. So it would be like an old timey Weinstein. That's
yeah. What a douche.
Well, she does a good job. I don't know if it's the lighting or makeup or anything. He looks legitimately fucking creepy. I'm like, I don't know if he really looks like that, but he looks very disturbing in this. Like, as soon as they show him, I'm just like, I would not want to be around this guy.
I don't know how much makeup and lighting play into it. I mean, obviously they're big, important parts for anything, but he gets the crazy eyes.
Yes.
He manages to do that thing with your eyes where you look crazy, but you don't look like you're trying to look crazy.
And the cadence of his voice, too.
Yeah.
Which that's acting, but yeah. But yeah, he's legitimately like just walking in a room and make me uncomfortable.
Yeah. We open with Sarah working her shit job at Big Taters, followed shortly by her bombing an audition and pulling out her hair in a fit of rage. Basically just being introduced to the fact that she is a struggling actress and things aren't going her way.
Yep.
Sarah goes out to a party, but she is too stressed and the chaos of a bunch of drunk theater kids isn't helping, so she bails.
Yeah, and this is where we see, like, Aaron just instantly, like, attacking her.
Yeah.
Like, as soon as she shows up, even like, oh, why are you here? And then, like, here's that she auditioned for a role and was like, what? Like,
oh, no, this is, I think this is first where she says that, she got the role that Sarah was auditioning for.
Oh, okay, yeah, you're right.
But then I think maybe on the way.
Yeah. But I'm saying this is where it's established that Aaron's, like, after her for some reason.
Yeah. Fuck these people. God, I am so glad that I never had a friends group this bad. I had some toxic friends groups, but none of them were like this, and none of them were when I was this old.
Yeah.
This Aaron chick is too old to be playing these kind of games, man. This is some high school bullshit. On the way home, Danny is trying to talk to her about being in his movie, which she completely ignores while checking her text to see she has been called in for an audition. Her friends all congratulate her, except for Aaron, who immediately criticizes the title and the company, but takes an obvious interest in auditioning for it. I have a feeling we're going to talk about that bitch a lot. Yeah, there is nothing she can't criticize.
Yeah.
It is bonkers. The movie she is auditioning for is The Silver Scream. Well, okay, to be fair, that's a terrible title.
I think it's fine.
I don't know.
Like if it was a werewolf movie or something.
But I think it's supposed to be a Scream type of thing.
No, I know, but I'm just saying, I don't think the title necessarily is bad. It depends on the movie. And also, most movies have working titles, and it doesn't end up being their actual title.
True. They usually have a working title, and then they get a code title if they...
Yeah. So
the movie she's auditioning for is The Silver Scream, being made by Astraeus Pictures. They are a well-known production company who have gone through a bit of a rough patch, but seem to be making a comeback. Sarah goes into the audition and gets a very tepid response. So, naturally, she steps into the bathroom and pitches an absolute fit, screaming and yelling and pulling out her hair, but this actually gets the casting director's interest.
Oh, yeah.
They ask her to return and pitch the same fit for them, which basically gets her another audition.
Yeah, I actually think this is one of the best scenes in the movie. She's just really good. The actress does really good.
Yeah.
Like, really, like, the freaking out in the bathroom is really well done, which even watching it, I'm like, of course they can hear you. The bathroom was so close.
Yeah.
And then, like, her being in there and being, like, not sure of it and then actually, like, fully going for it. I think she does a really good job.
She does. There's a few things that you could fault this movie for. I think most of them just have to do with it being low budget.
Sure.
But the lead actress does a really good job. Yeah. She's confused about this and thinks that they are making fun of her, but eventually she gets called in for another audition. Her boss calls her into the office to chew her out about taking calls while on the clock, and she makes a decision on the spot to quit and pursue the role full time. This was kind of a funny scene. There's, I think everybody in any sort of food service and retail eventually fantasizing about just like yelling at their boss and walking out.
Oh, sure. Is this the scene too, which I thought was funny, when she checks her phone, because when she walks away, they're like, where does she keep it?
I think that was earlier.
Okay, because
this isn't the first time that he says something about her being on the phone.
Okay, then yeah, it's the first time. Well, I was just going to say, it is funny because she's wearing spandex. Where is she keeping the phone? They show her put it in her butt. Mm-hmm. And it's like, where is it?
I don't know. I've also never understood people who put their phones in their butts.
Yeah, but I'm assuming it's supposed to just be because she's wearing tight pants stuck, there.
Yeah.
But you don't see it, so it is like, where is it?
Yeah, there's no rectangular lump.
No.
Which we only know because the camera focuses on her butt while her boss checks her out.
Yeah. And I'm like, yeah, this is a good question.
Yeah. Who knows?
Thanks for joining us here at the Streaming Screams podcast. Please follow us on Instagram, Facebook, Threads, and YouTube at Streaming Screams Pod.
You can also find us on TikTok and Blue Sky at Screams Pod.
Every follow, like, thumb, rating, review, subscription, and share all help us out a lot with all the algorithm shit.
So if you like what we're doing, please rate us wherever you get your podcasts, like our posts, all that other good internet bullshit. And again, thank you for listening to
the Streaming Screams podcast.
At the next audition, she is asked to disrobe for photographs. At first, she's caught off guard and uncomfortable, but the casting director tells her that she needs to completely let go in order to transform. And she does. She becomes euphoric, showing an erratic elegance, sexiness, and viciousness that seems to be hidden underneath the surface.
Also a great scene.
It is
really well done.
Scene.
And she does a really good job of showing like being nervous, not like comfortable, and then just suddenly getting into it. It's really well done.
Yeah. I think they also did a great job with the filming and editing of this scene. Mm-hmm. This whole scene is basically done in the dark.
Yeah.
And all of the light is from basically rhythmic camera flashes.
Yeah. And you just see the silhouettes of the people, what are they?
The cult members?
Yeah, but I was going to say, they're not producers, the casting people sitting at the table.
Yeah.
She can't even see them. It's just a silhouette.
So every time I've watched this movie, I've noticed more going on in this scene. And you do only see the silhouettes of the casting people. They do show an actual cultist in a robe with black paint on his face standing in the corner.
Oh, nice.
There's a few different things that we actually see going on with Sarah herself. Mm-hmm. At certain points, it shows her in like a really elegant, beautiful, like black dress, looking all done up and fancy.
Yeah.
There's other points where it shows her with fangs, like, and blood in her mouth. Mm-hmm. And other points where she's just sort of getting sexy with herself.
Yeah.
It's a really well done scene.
Yep.
Much to her delight, she is called in for a meeting with the producer, who tries to fuck her in exchange for the role. She runs out and goes home, tearfully telling Tracy what happened. I do have a little note in here.
Yeah.
This is like the only time anybody calls Erin out at all.
Yeah.
I forget what exactly she said, but she's come in heartbroken, and Erin goes like, oh, maybe I should audition for the role.
Yeah.
She gives a snarky remark about submitting her headshot, which has auditioned for the role.
Yeah.
Danny gives her an annoyed look and is just like, seriously?
Like now?
But this is the extent to which anybody calls her out.
Yeah.
Toxic ass theater kids, man.
Yeah.
There's plenty of great theater kids in the world. Sure. And plenty of great ex-theater kids, theater adults, I guess. But, there's a lot of theater kids that are just fucking toxic as hell.
There's shit people in every group type.
Yeah. Sometimes sometimes the entire group is shit.
Yeah.
And this is one of those, except Sarah.
Yeah.
Danny, who seems to have a romantic interest in Sarah, asks her to be in his movie and basically lets her have the lead role. And
which he already promised to Aaron.
Did he already promise it to Aaron?
Yeah, there is a scene that after, because he initially wanted her to do it, but she didn't accept. So she gave it to Aaron, and then later gives it to her again.
I don't remember a scene where he does give it to Aaron.
No, it's just mentioned.
Or specifically the lead role.
Maybe Aaron mentioned it, but it's mentioned.
Well, either way, Aaron's not going to have this.
Yeah.
She accepts his offer. He also lets Sarah know that her roommate Tracy told everybody what happened at the audition. So, she sucks too.
Yeah.
But Sarah is happy to at least be doing something, feels supported by Danny, and they do some ecstasy. This cracked me up because it so comes out of nowhere.
Yeah.
It's just like, all right, we're going to do this movie. Ecstasy?
Let's get high.
So they do some ecstasy, and she and her friends have a pool party to celebrate Danny's movie. So for a minute, she feels okay, but then she sees Aaron kissing Danny on the cheek. Yeah. And knows that Aaron's going to, get in there. Honestly, I'm not actually clear on Danny's response here because he seems confused more than anything.
I don't think he seems confused. I think it's obvious that if it's true, it said later that they have hooked up before. Mm-hmm. I think it's more that he didn't want her to see it.
Oh, yeah, maybe.
Yeah. But he's
that is possible. Yeah. Every once in a while you find yourself in a situation where you don't want one person to see you kissing someone else.
Yeah. Because they're not actually together, but
I don't mean in a sense of going around the corner and cheating on your on your spouse or something, but I don't know. We were at a concert once. I think it was Birthday Massacre. There was a girl that I was hitting on and we were going to go on a date, but there was another girl who was a friend of mine that was there, and she kept trying to make out with me in the crowd, and I would have been all for it.
Sure.
But this other girl that I'm going to go on a date with is 10 feet behind us.
It's when you got a casual thing, and then you got one that you're hoping is a more serious thing, and you're like, dude, that's not right now.
Yeah. Which, I don't know. Neither of those would have been, dating that girl did not go great.
Yeah.
Then again, I don't think I should have, knowing the friend in question here, it's probably a good thing I didn't bang them. So pissed off about what just happened between Danny and Aaron, she goes back to the producer's house, and after being warned by the casting director that there will be no third chances, she gives him a blowjob. Note, maybe don't make decisions while high and pissed off.
Yeah.
He tells her basically what's going to happen if she goes through with this. And while it might not make sense to take what he says literally, what he's saying is very literal.
Yeah.
Which is kind of funny. That is also in the Neon Demon, the food and sex conversation.
Yeah.
They were being literal, but
they're being direct, but you don't know they're being direct.
Right.
Also, when a bunch of cloaked people come in,
oh, I don't think she noticed because, her eyeballs are just on his belt buckle, right?
I have given blowjobs. I'm aware of my surroundings. There's a lot of them. It's not like one dude just came in.
I don't know. Would you notice if people were quietly filing in?
Absolutely.
Sometimes you're constant.
It wasn't a dark room.
No, but here's the thing. This is her audition, right? She wants to make sure she sucks that dick proper.
I guess.
She literally needs to give a life-changing blowjob right now. Over the next few days, she gets sick and becomes kind of delirious, and her body starts to deteriorate. Her behavior starts getting erratic and violent, and she just starts alienating everyone in her life. And even at one point, some guy on the street just tries to ask her if she's okay, and she physically attacks him.
Yeah.
That was actually the one moment where I felt really sad watching this. Was that poor dude?
The one good person in the movie.
the one decent person who seems to he only has a couple lines, so we don't necessarily know.
No.
But the way she reacts, and he is so terrified and upset, and he's just oh my God, I was just trying to help.
Never gonna help anybody again.
No, never again. Learned his lesson. The worst part about this, besides the poor guy who was just trying to help her.
Yeah.
She gets into a very heated argument with Tracy, where both of them unleash some pretty harsh truths on each other, but do it in all the wrong ways.
This scene does make me wonder, not that it like is relevant to the plot. What does Tracy do that she can pay her Sarah's rent? Because she mentions that.
She does.
Because she quit her job and she's like, I've been paying your rent the last few months. And I'm like, what do they do? Why are you in this shit apartment if you can afford to pay the other half of the rent?
I don't know. This is probably harder with housing prices right now.
Sure.
But when this came out, you and I were roommates, and there were times for both of us that one of us had to cover the other for a month.
Yeah, but not like a few months and we got paid back.
Right.
It's different.
Yeah, and I mean, one would assume that Sarah's going to pay Tracy back for any.
Well, she does right at the scene.
Yeah, well,
she throws the money because she has the money from
Estrellas.
Yeah.
So I would assume that that's the case. But you know, you and I weren't exactly living high on the hog, and we were able to help each other out when things got
but
rough.
Not for months at a time.
No, not for months at a time. It would be like 1 month's rent, and then we'd pay the other back in like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Oh, man. But yeah, also having a heart-to-heart is probably best not done when you are like delirious and furious.
Sure. But again, we don't see it in the movie, but they say it's been going on for a long time. So
yeah,
eventually things just explode.
Yeah, you know, sometimes things just come to a head, even with just friends or roommates.
It's never really clear how close they are, too.
I mean, Tracy is the only one who does seem like a friend at all.
Yeah, but I think it's
Danny.
Yeah, but I think it's because they live together.
Yeah,
I'm just saying, but other than that, it's hard to tell like how close they actually are because everybody else seems to be more Tracy's friend.
That's totally true. I don't know how close they are. It's definitely not, they definitely don't have the relationship you and I had.
Well,
seeing as how this blowout completely ends their friendship.
Yeah.
But at this point, her transformation really goes into high gear. Delirium becomes hallucinations, and she starts going through intense physical pain, and her skin seems to begin to rot, with her hair and fingernails falling out, until she pukes up a bunch of maggots.
This scene reminds me of the movie Contagion, or Contagious, which we might do at some point. I don't know.
I think it's Contagion.
Yeah. No, I think it's Contagious. Or Contracted.
Oh, Contracted.
Yeah.
God, that movie was great.
The movie's so frustrating.
It is.
Because that's the one where she's falling apart like this and nobody fucking reacts to it.
Yeah.
Until maggots come out of her pussy while she's fucking someone.
Yeah. I don't even think that's the first time. I mean, it's the first time maggots come out, but I don't even think it's the first time, like,
no, she's totally falling. She looks awful and nobody comments on it.
Oh, no, I mean specifically with her vagina.
Oh, yeah, and it's just like, that was so frustrating.
Like, I think she has some other sexual contact, and you're just like, dude, that's a lot of blood. Seems to be rotten bits of flesh there.
Listen, we should do that movie at some point just because, like, it's so fresh. It's an interesting movie.
After she pukes up all the maggots, the producer gives her a call and confirms that Sarah is dying, and she can either fight the transformation and really die, or just go with it, commit a sacrifice, join the cult, and become the star that she wants to be. So Sarah goes to Aaron's house and sees Aaron in Danny's bed. Quick note, Danny lives in a van behind Aaron's house.
Yeah, and it's a van that doesn't run anymore.
Yeah, it's just his van down by the river?
Well, it was because he was trying to save money.
No, I know. You know, and honestly, for a starving artist living in a van in somebody's backyard, it doesn't look half bad.
No.
Also, I mean, if you're in somebody's backyard, you still got bathroom access, et cetera.
Shower.
Yeah.
Major thing.
Yeah. When Aaron goes into the kitchen, Sarah confronts her, and after arguing about who is more pathetic and who does more fucking for rolls, Aaron turns on the lights and sees Sarah increasing decrepitude, and that's when Sarah stabs the shit out of her.
And the only time Aaron shows genuine concern for her.
Not just genuine concern for her, basic humanity.
Yes.
The rest of the movie, she is just the fucking worst, and you know, you're hoping she's going to be the first one to die whenever whatever killing starts.
Yeah.
But Aaron is like, oh, we got to get you to hospital, and Sarah stabs her.
Yeah.
She goes through the house and bashes Ashley's face in with a dumbbell.
See, this is where I was confused because they don't even talk. It's just like she just goes in there.
Yeah.
I thought it was the roommate, and I assumed she was over there fucking Poe.
Well, it seems to be Aaron's roommate.
Yeah. But I thought it was Sarah's roommate, fucking Poe, that just happened to be there. No, so I was confused later.
I made that mistake too. Yeah.
Because again, just a random blonde girl.
Yeah.
And she doesn't say anything.
They should have given her some lines in this movie at some point, just so you knew she was a different character.
Yeah.
Because also, this being a bunch of theater kids and all that, they all kind of look alike. Also, this is easily the best kill in the movie.
Yeah, because he's their face getting bashed in.
And after this, she goes and stabs Poe to death.
At first, before she kills Ashley, Poe comes out of the room, goes to the bathroom, and doesn't notice what has happened with Aaron or anything. There's already like hella fucking shit, and it's like the kitchen's right at the end of the hallway.
Oh, yeah.
And he just goes to the bathroom, and then she goes in and beats the shit out of Ashley. And it's just the way they frame it is funny.
Yeah.
It's just him coming out, going to the bathroom, and it's like there's carnage.
And he just misses it.
Yeah.
Sometimes that post-nut clarity isn't all that clear.
Gotta give him a minute to set in.
Yeah, right. Anyway, so Poe goes back into his room. She stabs him to death. Or does she stab him in the bathroom?
Stabs him in the hallway.
Okay.
Because he notices and freaks out, and then when he's coming out, she stabs him.
Yeah. Realizing that Aaron isn't quite dead, she then suffocates her with a plastic bag. And finally, she kills Danny. So, do you think Danny was actually any different from everybody else? Do you think he would have?
I think he would have given her the lead role. I do think Danny was legitimately interested in her, and Aaron, again, was just some casual thing. Because even in the bath or in the kitchen, when they're talking about who fucks for what role, she was like, me and Danny have slept together before. Yeah. Even Aaron is like, no, we fuck sometimes.
Yeah.
But I think Aaron was hoping things would become more with Danny, only because he was clearly interested in Sarah.
Yeah.
Not that she actually gave a shit about him.
Yeah. Boy, she is just the worst.
Yeah. But you are judged by the people you hang out with, so can't be all great.
Yeah. Yeah. God. Yeah. Just this whole toxic group.
Yeah.
I don't know if they all deserve to die, but it is satisfying when Erin gets got.
Yeah, because she's a bitch.
The cult of Astraeus retrieves Sarah and buries her as part of a ritual, during which she is transformed and reborn, hairless, healthy, and with new, bright, shiny green eyes. No stars, so the title's a lie.
No, it's not. I got
Oh, okay. She then returns home and gives Tracy the kiss of death, sacrificing the final part of her old life and embracing the glamorous star that she is about to be.
Yep.
The end of the movie. Not for her. Apparently, it's just the beginning of her career.
Yeah.
So,
It's going to be the next, I don't know. Who's big right now? I don't know.
Who sold their soul in Hollywood?
A lot of people. So, because the director actually did say this movie is about ambition being a disease and celebrities being a monster. Now, I don't think he means all celebrities. I think he means specifically like when your goal is just to be famous and you don't give a shit about anything else, you typically do become a monster.
Yeah. And I know a lot of celebrities are monsters. Not all.
No.
Keanu Reeves, Ryan Gosling.
Sure.
Love you both.
But just because you want to act doesn't mean your goal is to become a celebrity. I think it's the people that their drivers like, no, I want to be famous and powerful.
Yeah. Specifically as a musician, I did always want to be a moderate rock star.
Yeah.
I didn't want to be like Metallica big because I didn't like the idea of like, because the fame wasn't it for me. I just wanted to be able to make money doing, I wanted to be able to live comfortably with music as my full-time job.
So like KMFDM or like aesthetic perfection level.
Yeah.
You can walk the streets and very few people will stop you.
Yeah. It's funny you mentioned them. The specific example I've given pretty much my whole life is my life with the Thrill Kill cult.
Oh, sure.
I honestly wouldn't even mind being stopped occasionally.
Yeah. But
not being able to like go shopping properly, that would suck.
Sucks.
Which is not to say that I'm not a big ol' attention whore. You kind of have to be to when like the happiest place for you is on stage, like clearly you're enjoying the attention.
Yeah.
But no, didn't want to, that wasn't, the end goal was to be an artist and the rest just came with being a full-time artist.
Yeah.
If I had achieved it, which I didn't, sadly, womp womp.
Yeah. So the actress, which is true for lots of cults and people who she says that like her going into this is the reason she was so susceptible to this. is because she doesn't have a self of identity. She doesn't have really people in her life. Like, these aren't her friends. They are just, like, people around her. Yeah. And so it's like she doesn't have any community or sense of self. So the only thing she has is trying to make it.
Right.
Hence why she's able to be corrupted.
When it comes down to it, she is already the perfect candidate to be in a cult.
Yes.
Very stressed and feeling like she's going nowhere in her life. Nobody close. Everything a cult could want.
Yeah. So, as you saying that the movie's a lie, because Starry Eyes is literally, she wants to be a star's eyes on the goal.
No, I know.
But besides that, the name Astraeus is it's a Greek mythology. Mm-hmm. It is an astrological deity. His name directly translates to starry.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's the son of Titan, god of Sirius. And Eurbia, sorry, I'm not good at this stuff. Astraeus was associated with wind, dusk, nightfall, and was married to Eos, the goddess of dawn. So that's why the cult is called that. Literally, directly means starry.
Gotcha. Yeah, it was funny because you know, I know a lot of movies aren't titled literally.
Yeah,
but I did have a laugh when she had those like ridiculously bright green eyes, and I was like, those aren't stars.
Well, because I think the cover photo shows her. One of the posters or cover photos, I think, shows her with starry eyes.
It shows her. Well, if I remember correctly, it shows like stars kind of carved into her.
Yeah, something like that.
Around her eyes.
Yeah. So,
or maybe carved into the cover on her eyes. Like,
maybe
like
that's
scratched into a photo.
I think you're right. Yeah. That's it.
But yeah, no, I just thought it was funny that they did do something with her eyes. I know, and then I was like,
I know. Like I said, I'm like, actually, it's fine. The cult means starry. Yeah. Which I find interesting which I think are probably better movies, but the director says he likes making more character-driven movies that, like, rather than plot-driven. It's about the characters and them moving forward and stuff. Where I'd say, like, Neon Demon is more plot-driven than, I think, character-driven. Maybe not. I don't know.
Honestly, it's hard to say with Neon Demon because the vapidness is kind of the point.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So it's more about the plot than it is the individual characters.
Well, I mean, it is Jessie's journey.
No, but then she dies and it keeps going.
Yeah. Well, it does, but she's still there.
Yeah.
If you want to know what we're talking about right now, and you haven't already, listen to our episode on the Neon Demon and the Substance. Good times. Who would you personally recommend this movie for?
Anyone, like, if you like cult movies, of course. Mm-hmm. Probably if you like movies like Rosemary's Baby and stuff like that. This would definitely be... I think some people might find this movie boring. Like, people, if you just like slashers and stuff like that, probably not your thing.
Yeah, it's not a fast-paced blood feast.
It's not slow, but I wouldn't call it a slow burn. But again, it is character-driven.
Right.
So, yeah.
It's well, you know how like a lot of old horror movies, the real horror often didn't come until the third act.
Yes.
And this is kind of done like that.
Yeah.
The first two acts seem just like the life of this girl who's falling apart. And then we get to the nightmare. I would recommend this to anybody who doesn't mind a slightly low budget movie, basically has any interest in Hollywood and the shit show that is the film industry, the abusive shit show that is the entertainment industry as a whole. If you're interested in the abusive shit show that is the entertainment industry, give this movie a watch.
Yeah.
It is, pretty poignant for a B horror movie.
And this was made before the Me Too movement. Right. And I feel like it has more relevance after that.
What year did the Me Too thing happen?
That's a good question.
2017? It was a while ago now.
I think 2018 around then. 2017.
Yeah. I don't remember.
Oh, apparently Me Too was used on MySpace by sexual assault survivors.
Really?
Before a hashtag. But the hashtag started in 2017.
Interesting.
Yeah.
The thing that I remember, the reason it sticks out in my head is because I remember there was a concert that I wanted to go to at the DNA Lounge. And the opening band, Destroyer 666, I don't know the exact quote, but they said something along the lines of, "These Me Too cunts just need a good dick."
Jesus Christ. That's exactly the same thing as My Choice, Your Body, My Choice.
My Choice.
Yeah. I'm just saying this exact same sentiment.
I gotta tell you, it is getting harder and harder to keep politics out of this podcast.
Well, movies are always a reflection of the horrors of the time. So
yeah. But yeah, I remember that this happened, and the owner of DNA Lounge, Jamie, was just like, not on my fucking stage.
Yeah.
So he canceled the gig. They ended up moving it to a different venue, which is a bummer. I was hoping that it just wouldn't happen.
Yeah.
Actually, what I was hoping was that they would kick that band off the bill, and I could still go see the headliner because I really loved the head. Oh yeah, I don't give a shit about Destroyer 666.
Yeah.
I don't even know what they sound like.
Yeah.
No, I do. They're like, I think they're a thrash band, but they were opening for Mayhem, and at the time, I really love Mayhem. And
yeah, but I can see DNA's point of just like, if Mayhem is continuing to support them, I don't want to support you either.
Oh no, and since then, it has become clear to me that Mayhem is a lot more problematic.
Sure.
What with them using a fucking Totenkopf on their goddamn album cover a few years ago. Pieces of shit. They are easily my favorite black metal band, and they're just made up of a bunch of fucking scumbags. I know whenever people talk about Mayhem, they talk about the murders and the suicide and all of the craziness that went on with the early black metal scene, because Mayhem was at the center of all that craziness.
Yeah.
But Hellhammer has said a lot of very not cool things about who black metal is meant for, specifically, in his words, white people. Definitely had some homophobic tendencies, and nobody in the metal community wants to admit this. Because Mayhem is so good and so legendary and we all love them, nobody wants to admit that they have gone full-on NSBM, which is Nazi black metal, Nationalist Socialist black metal. They have fully embraced that, and it sucks. It sucks because I really love them. And they did my favorite black metal album of all time, Grand Declaration of War. Mm-hmm. Excellent album. And now going back and listening to it in retrospect, just doesn't quite sound the same, because now I can see the beginnings of the NSBM seeds being planted in the band.
Yeah, that sucks.
It does. Black metal is a complicated music to listen to. Anyway, so circling back around, I supported Jamie's position in canceling the show. Something about that was actually really eye-opening for me, and I think, I've always tried to think about these things and examine these things and try to be like a decent ally and all that. Something about this really kind of woke me up to my own ignorance and also some of my own shittier behavior, because I'm honestly not actually sure if we've talked about this. We might have, but I used to tell a lot of jokes that were a lot edgier and what people call dark humor. But really is generally I stayed away from the racism, but I was never shy about making a dumb sexist joke. But it's
because we're from the 90s, and that's when it's all about being edgy.
Well, so also when this happened, the Me Too movement was going on, and I was looking at who was getting called out and what was going on with them. And I started to realize that, when I would tell these jokes, I would try to put myself at the butt of them. The punchline was supposed to be people who actually think that way.
Sure.
When I would tell them, it was sarcastic, and I was never actually doing it to punch down, as they say. There were a lot of people that would espouse these beliefs around their music in the black metal scene, or would tell certain types of jokes, whatever. And I thought that they were the same way.
Yeah.
And that, in retrospect, was very stupid of me. So, I'm sure you've noticed my humor has changed, and the things that I'm willing to say that are edgy or whatever have changed, because I now look back on this and I'm like, oh Jesus, are there people out there that heard me tell those jokes that remember me as the sexist guy? Maybe. Or the homophobic sexist guy? Again, I didn't really do race, but homophobia and sexism, absolutely. Yeah. That was a hard realization. Realizing that all these people that I thought were in on the joke were not. Yeah. And it was just me. Yeah. And I was like, oh shit, this is who I've grouped myself with. This is a problem. Oh God, that was So naive on my part.
That's life, is learning and growing.
Yeah.
As long as you keep growing, it's all good.
Hopefully, that's why I said we were talking about Neon Demon. My greatest fear is becoming old and set in my ways.
Yeah.
Because, I also equate set in my ways with being shitty.
Yeah.
At some point in time, when we are older, somebody is going to point out a way in which we've been bigoted our whole lives that we have never even considered or thought about.
Absolutely.
And I really don't want to be the type of person who's going to hear that and dismiss it outright.
Yeah. It's like in the 90s, we called everything gay, and we weren't like perceiving that as homophobia. That's just what you did.
Oh my God.
I never even considered it.
Even in the early thousands, like through the 90s and the early thousands, everybody was
gay.
Yeah, it would always be that. You would hear the F word, which I'm not going to say all the time. It is, and it was so cringe now that I think back on it.
Like I said, things change.
Yeah. Did I do a recommendation for this?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's what spawned this whole ridiculous thing. Anyway, that is Starry Eyes. Jessica, play us out.
Wait, no, we got to do where to watch.
Right. Okay. So you can stream Starry Eyes free or with a subscription to Peacock, AMC Plus, Roku, Philo, Pluto TV, Plex, and Shudder. You can rent or buy it from Amazon TV, Google Play, YouTube, or Fandango at home. Okay, well, so as I said, Jessica, play us out.
I don't. Let's see. The stars are in the cold